Mishbur. No, that's a Mishbur? No. There's too many things going on. Rabbi Hershef, you okay? Should I say so? No, not yet. Danny, you're good? Mishbur. No, it's Mishbur. Okay. I'm good now. Everyone touched it. Okay, good. That's great. I'm so happy that we all touched it. Thank you. I really appreciate it when you touch all the sperm and then I get to touch it afterward. Okay. Okay, now, just an interesting piece of information. Which I did not know. That Rabbi Feigenbaum, who is a nephew of Rabbi Eider, correct? A great nephew. And I did not realize this. He sent me the tshuvas from Ayin Dal, some of the tshuvas from Ayin Dal that Rabbi Eider asked Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. Now, I've given a lot of credence to these tshuvas. I've given a lot of credence. I mean, mamish, by these tshuvas, we spent full shiurim on some of these tshuvas. And Taka, it's not over yet, right? The fat lady is not singing yet. And still more to talk about these. I was always nervous in the back of my head that, it's this is the understanding of one of the Talmidei Chachamim, how he understood Rav Moshe. And I was always nervous because, when you deal with these types of tshuvas, he showed me that Rabbi Eider wrote out, I have it. I have you have the papers, I got it at home. I'm the only one that has it. Right? Rabbi Eider wrote out the Shaila, and then on the side, that's what you told me, right? On the side over there is what Rav Moshe answered. And it's Rav Moshe saying that's Mamish Rav Moshe's handwriting, right? And that's also Rav Moshe's coffee stain. That's what you told me, that was the coffee stain came from Rav Moshe, and the writing came from Rav Moshe. And then I compared it to the book, and I compared it to the few tshuvas that I saw. I compared it to the book, and I compared it to the meaning the Rabbi Eider's book, and to the Ayin Dal. It's basically Rav Moshe's, so you have to give this a lot more credence now. Right? You have to give it a lot more credence. It's still not the same level as a tshuva. Because when one writes a tshuva, it's written with his own, here he's answering, it still doesn't have the same level, but it's definitely Rav Moshe Feinstein. That's an important something, number one. Number two is we ended the shiur. Today we got to finish here and then we got to start chazar. There's no games. Right? Let's try and get there. But we ended the shiur with something that's so troublesome, and I know it's very difficult because I asked Rabbi Yitzchak, and Rabbi Yitzchak is troubled by it. So now I know there's something difficult here. Let me give you, it's like somewhat of a sikum of what we ended with, and today I don't know. It could be if somebody has a proper answer to what we're going to talk about, maybe I'll give him the whole entire bottle. But because this is very troublesome, very very troublesome. What's the shaila? Shaila's like this. The shaila is there a loy plug in the sugya? That this is the last year on Shiur, Bezos Hashem, and this is the last, really the last question. Is there a loy plug on Shiur? And if you behave, I'm going to tell you a very interesting story that took place on Erev Shabbos, Leil Shabbos, whatever you want to call it. And somebody told me about today. Right? The truth is, I don't know which Leil Shabbos, but somebody made it sound like it was this Leil Shabbos. I'm not sure. You never know with people. Maybe they're just trying to get themselves famous. But so if you're good, in this time, I'm going to tell you a very interesting story. We got a whole challenge. I remember because I said it's almost impossible. You have to be mamish a goyin gadol to aser Shiur. So somebody called me and told me a case. I'm chayshish she made up the case. It doesn't matter because the Jumas Tedeshin also made up his shilas, right? And that there was so much Torah was misrabbe. Was told, what do you think, Chacham Victor? You think he made it up or no? No, I'm not sure. Okay, Akapanim Mazeh. Akapanim. So the shilas like this. Oh no, before the shilas. So like this. Is there a loy plug in the sugya? This is the $1 million question. What do I mean? It sounds like a very simple question. In Daled Ayin Daled, Rav Moshe Feinstein in Ois Chav Hey, Rav Moshe Feinstein basically tells us that if you take your fire and put it to the highest, what do I mean? You take your fire and put it to the highest. Yeah, let's say the crock pot. That was a very good example. You take the crock pot, you turn it on to the highest. Now, there's no reason why that we should make the gzeira. The old gzeira of Chazal was that you're going to go and monkey with the stoke the flame. Over here, what? We're afraid you're going to put down the flame? L'shemanu, that a person puts down a flame. And that was the question that was phrased and posed to the greatest Jew that lived in the world at his time, Rav Moshe Feinstein. So Rav Moshe answers that, yes, there's a light plug. Yes, there's a light plug. That means you can't take the stovetop and turn it to the highest. That means you can't take the crock pot and turn it to the highest. Yes, there's a light plug. That's the first answer of Rav Moshe. Okay, correct, Rabbi Shea? You saw it inside of. The first answer is like. Second answer He says, and invite, like as if to say, and I don't even know if you have to come onto a light plug over here. What do I mean light plug? Meaning, even though this isn't the original Gzeir of Chazal, but who cares? It's a fire. And a fire, Chazal asked you from having a fire. I guess obviously we're talking where the food's not Michael ben Drusai and whatever. So therefore, yes, we asked her that food. Okay, then says going Rav Moshe. He says, Vaid, and Rabbi said, we're certainly not even talking about Chazar. I mean, that's Pashut. There should be a problem with Chazar because it's Mechzik Mavashal. Who cares if it's on its highest? You didn't make it better because it's on its highest. It's certainly a Mechzik Mavashal. But let's say even Shehiyah says going Rav Moshe. Okay, then says Rav Moshe. Okay, another thing says Rav Moshe is anyways, you might come to turn it down and then you might come to turn it up again. So therefore it's Nechel in the original Shami Echata. That's Rav Moshe. That's Rav Moshe says. Okay. It means it's with ease that you play with it and monkey with it. Okay, so that's, I guess, food and chashash. That's how we spoke about this many, shiurim ago. Food, chashash, whatever. So, okay, now, what about an urn? Okay, it's Adkan, crackpot on the highest, game over. You can't put an oven on the highest, crackpot on the highest. You have to have some other heter. Next. Even though I saw that they bring from the Orletzian, I looked it up, Itaki says, the Orletzian, he says, yeah, if you put it to the highest, there's no problem. There's no problem. And he wants to say that there's no Shem Yechat of B'kai Gafna. Then I don't know if the Svardim could be Meko like this, Chacham Victor. I don't know, because like I always tell you, this is not a Svardim Ashkenazim thing. This is a svara. It's a very big svara. And to go and fight with Moshe. So I don't know. Rav Moshe has two reasons why such a thing is also. He says like plug, and he says no. Okay, Rav Moshe monkeyed with that svara, and he said don't accept that svara. The other Echreinim went with Rav Moshe. So this isn't something that a Svardi can stand behind his Edut Mizrach and say I hold like Rav Chacham Bavad. If it's Paisik Chacham Ben Sina Bashaul, so then he Paiskins like him. If not, then it's just Kechad Min Chachamim, and therefore the Chayra, even a Svardi would have to be Machmir on this shiloh. That's number one. Then we have a shiloh of an urn. And of course, Rabbi Shiur has caused a tremendous amount of problems here because I was just going to talk about the issue of an urn. And I was going to say an urn is a one setting piece of machinery over here. You put the water in, it bubbles it up to whatever we spoke about. It gets to 212, it goes back down, whatever it is. But it's a non-stokable piece of machinery. And that's how we were going to don the shiloh of an urn. And that's what Rav Moshe was talking about. And that's what many of the Chreinim. And Rav Moshe had the only tzad that Rav Moshe has that an urn is a problem. Okay. When will an urn be a problem, Derech Hagav? We have to talk about. So we spoke. Once the water is Yatzaledis by, then she's already Michael ben Drusai. Once she's already Michael ben Drusai, so then, anyways, even without a blech, it could be that the Ashkenazim could be Meiko. I'm not saying whatever, but let's say we're talking that you're right before Shabbos. It's 10 minutes before Shkia. Rabbi Sorsha, you realize 10 minutes before Shkia. There's no hot water. What are you going to do? Why do you need hot water? Maybe you're going to need it for the cholent. Maybe this, maybe that. All the things we spoke about. So now you see a few minutes before Shkia, there's no hot water. So now you got to take the urn and fill it up with hot water, with cold water, and it's not going to get cooked by Shkia, okay? And not only that, it won't be a third cooked by Shkia. It won't be Yatzalet, but forget third. Here we know what the number is. It won't be Yatzalet by Shkia, okay? So you want to know. I gave you the other day, kulas and shasat chak situations. Will it be cooked 30 minutes after? I hear. So it could be, anyways, we're not going to be so nervous if like we're in mamash bind. But some people, they just feel like they don't even have to worry. And they do this l'chatchila, just take the water and throw it in right before Shabbos because I don't need the water until after the meal. Anyways, so is it l'chatchila to do that? So now you say, well, maybe it's l'chatchila because an urn is a one-setting piece of machinery, and that's what the Goyin Rav Moshe, at least, didn't even don it sad. The Goyin Rav Moshe, when he donned in the 23rd tshuva in these little short tshuvas, they didn't even don it sad that an urn should be an isser. They didn't even don that there should be a tzad isser shehiyah when it comes to an urn. Why not? I'll tell you why not. Because it's like a hot plate. It's a one-setting piece of machinery. There's not shayich stoking. Light plug. I just told you the Rabbi said this light plug. Okay, so you're going to have to say either there's no light plug because the only time Rabbi made a light plug is when it's something which is shaykh to stoke. Here it's not shaykh to stoke, right? It's not shaykh to stoke, so therefore there's no light plug. It's not something that can come with day stoking. And what was the other reason, Rabbi? You'll come to turn it down and come to turn it up. I'm not going to come to do that because it only has one setting. It only has one setting if it's a one-setting piece of machinery. And therefore, we would have had a tzad to say that you could take water right before Shabbos, put it in the urn, turn on let it go and turn it on, and let it do its thing. Let it do its thing, right? Maisa, There's two problems with this. Okay, first of all, certainly not lichatchila. Certainly not lichatchila. Why? Because, like I said, sorry, excuse me. So what's the problem with this thing? L'chayr, if you would say it's a one-setting piece of machinery, l'chayr, it should even be lichatchila, and I should be allowed to do this even lichatchila, right? I'm not going to come to stoke. It's not trying to stoke. So one problem is Rabbi made exera, which, if you believe in Rabbi that Rabbi was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So if Rabbi makes Xera, whether or not Rishlaim Zalman comes along and says, who's he to make Xera? But me, I'm a law-abiding citizen. And the Jew that lived in the Lower East Side, if he said there's a Xera, so then by me it's illegal. Right? And Rabbi said that you have to ask taking water and putting it into an urn because you might come to take out water before it's cooked. And therefore, that Rabbi made Xera. And not only that, what are you going to say? You can say, no, me'echatesi. So if Rav said it's a Gemara, it's a Gemara. So I would argue on Rav Gemara because I don't know any Gemaras like that. So obviously I'll learn the Gemara not like that, right? Or if Rav said it was like a Shulchan Aruch, so then I'll argue on Rav right? Because I don't know any Shulchan Aruch or Mishnah Berurah like that. So then obviously wherever Rav is going to learn, I'm going to probably have a different pshat than that, right? I mean, I'll take a look and cover Rav right? But the problem is Rav didn't say that. Rav said mistaber lesor. It's mistaber. It makes sense to answer. That means that kol Kula just came along without a makor and without anything. Just that this is what, if you learn Torah, this makes sense. If you learn Torah, then this makes sense. So, Mamela, so if you want to know, can you take water and put it in before Shabbat? Ramesh was just sagar aleinu asaderech. He just made it worse. Till now, I would have been makel because I have svaras like, till shkia, and I have all these things that I could be makel on, and shvus ben hashmashis, and this and that, and whatever. I don't know, Ramesh made like a whole new gzeir over here. I don't know. What? And Chacham Victor says, and it's even normal. So Chacham Victor says it's mistaber that Rav Moshe is mistaber. Right? I'm sorry. And not only that, Chacham Victor says, and if you don't do it, you're an apikoros. Right? Not normal. Sorry, you're not normal. Right? No, it's a normal thing. If you don't do it, then there's a question on your level of normalcy. Right? So it's a big problem. Okay, what would happen if a person told me I don't have hot water for Shabbos? Yeah, it's like very serious. And in Corona, I don't go and borrow water from other people or whatever. So it could be that there'd be makom to be makel. Loimify if the water will be cooked by shkia. I'm saying yatzalet by shkia. Even if not, maybe if it'll be, yatzalet is by benesh mashis, maybe shvus and benesh mashis matters Ramesh's gzeres also, whatever. Maybe. Adkan. Okay, but Ramesha doesn't even fathom its side of a light plug. Because Ramesha over here will tell you this has nothing to do with the regular light plug that I discussed. Because here it's a type of fire that you can't stoke. The only time I made a light plug says Ramesha is by a crack pot. It's by a stove that you can go down, you can go up. It's something that's stokeable. Okay. Now, Derech Agav, Rabbi Sher, he's ruined the Shiur because he said to me, maybe every urn today has a Shabbos mode, and he's right. It's got the Shabbos button and this button and the reboil button and everything button. So I say every urn today is a stokeable piece of machinery. I think it's everyone, like basically the regular Shabbos urns that we have, they're all stokeable machinery. And therefore, if your water is not Michael Ben Drusai, which is Yad Soletis by the time that Shabbos comes in, you're doing something illegal because it's a third cook. Forget Rav Moshe. Forget Rav Moshe because Rav Moshe came with a new svara and a new gzeira. This is the regular gzeira of Chazal. That's the regular good old-fashioned gzeira of Chazal. That is a stokeable piece of machinery, right? And now the only thing you can ask is that, wait a minute, but why would I stoke it? Why would I stoke it? Because if it's getting cooked now, doesn't make sense. Huh? It's already on. So how am I going to go and press reboil? Right now, it's in the process of cooking. Right now, it's 0 getting to Yatzel lettuce bite, right? Right now, it's 0 getting to Yatzel lettuce bite. And then what? And there's nothing I could do to make it work faster. I can press all the buttons I want, and it's going to do the same thing. There's nothing you can do. What? Oh, I don't know this. No, I thought that it's, let's say in mine, don't worry, I'm going to anyways ask her in a second anyways, but I'm going to ask her anyways. Right, I'm going to ask her it anyways. But let's say, I don't think you're right. I think in the Mitzvah it says is that to get to that first third, it doesn't go faster. It's not like there's two, mine doesn't have, for sure not. It's on already, it's on, it's getting heated. It's at right now 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so no matter what, we have an issue here, right? So he turned it on. What is that, 80 right now? He needs it to get hot. He obviously did something before Shabbos, right? So Elamai, he won't be able to do anything anyways before Shabbos, right? Because it'll just burn out. So it's mine. So it's my type urn. My urn is the urn. You put it in, and it'll just kind of keep on going until it stops, and then it'll go automatically into a Shabbos mode and like that. Okay, right? Let's say it doesn't matter. I'm going to ask her anyway. But Al Kapanim, so now it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're going to get it up to 140. So what am I going to go and press buttons to get it there? Who cares? It's not happening any faster. But that's not a kasha. That's not a kasha because that's what we keep on saying. It's a stokable fire, though. Well, once I've established it's a stokable fire, Moshe told me we made a light plug. So I was like, Tachlis Geret, when you're talking about an urn today, you have two reasons why basically you can't put the water in if it's not Yatzalevis by before a Shkia. If it's not going to be Yatzalevis by, you have problem number one is that you're being going from Gezeres Chazal problem, right? Which is with a light plug. Problem number two is Ramosha. So this is illegal. What would a person, if he was mamish in a bind and a geferliche thing? So first of all, Ramosha tells me it should be fully cooked before Shabbos because even it only gets to Michael Ben Drusai. And we are firm believers in trying to at least be lechatchila, that it should be fully cooked and at least get it to the point where it'll be mitzvah v'ralai. So therefore, I anyways want that your urn and your water should be cooked before Shabbos. Again, today it's not as negeh because most of us have to press a button to turn it on to the Shabbos mode. So you have to turn on that button anyways, which you're all going to want it to be, like I said, at one point previously cooked. Because if it's not going to have been there, you won't be able to use it. If you're chalent, etc. So I'm just saying, in a practical sense, it's not so much of an afkamina, but tachlis geret, that's what we want. That's what we want. Now, I don't know the answer to this. Rabbi Slansky is asking me, could you use it if the Shabbos mode's not on? I'm crazy. You have to ask an electrician. I don't have no idea. I would never use it. I imagine that it causes water to get cooked. It's probably at least a grumma, and of course you can't use it. Sorry? No, that happens on its own, I thought it just Mamela happens. You mean they put it in with cold water? Yeah. No, they put it with cold water and they put it on Shabbos mode? Yeah. So Rabbi Moyle wants us to know that he has a broken urn. Not him. Not him. He's seen people that have broken urns, but I don't know. You know what? I'll do it. Well, mine is broken. I told you. It needs her first name. She'll daven for her. But the old star with those metal ones. Yeah. If you press what? If you press Shabbos, it'll get it hot, and then it'll stop. Yeah, no, that I know there's such a thing. Yeah. What? No, so wait. So again, to go and do it lechatchila, you should, let's go in order. Lechatchila, the water should have been fully cooked before Shabbos. That's for sure lechatchila, and for sure for you, it's not even a Shabbos, you're a Sfaradi, right? You for sure would have to be fully cooked before Shabbos, you and Chacham Victor. That's no Shabbos, right? The rest of us, lechatchila, should do that too. Chatchila should do that too, number two. Number three is, it at least should be Michael Ben Drusai by the time that Shabbos comes in to say the Shkia or whatever. But you have it. If a person tells me that, it's either that or not have red water, and we're okay, so trust in Benish Mashes and whatever, and all the things that we spoke about. So that's Adkan. That's Adkan. Is that crystal clear, Kindle? Crystal clear. Good. Now, but what do I see from over here? I see from over here, there's a light plug on a fire, which is a stokable fire, okay? And I see that there's no light plug on a non-stokable fire, and we have to come on to all types of things. Is everybody with me? I'm saying very simple. This is so far, yeah, okay. No, I don't mean I'm saying very simple, that way you'd be scared. I'm saying that this is what we spoke about already, right? This is what we spoke about. That's number one. Now, number two, and now just to make this a little bit more practical, so we can call this in English a hot plate, right? This is what we know already. This is called a hot plate. What's a hot plate? A hot plate is, says the Hartzvi in the 136th tshuva, he says a hot plate is a non-stokable fire. Again, obviously I'm talking not one with dials and whatever, okay. So a hot plate is a non-stokable fire. And therefore, what's the din of a hot plate? The answer is a hot plate, you can take non-cooked food and leave it on a hot plate, and you can do chazara to a hot plate because that's a mamisha, it's not a mechsi at all, it's a garfin katim, it's a kashvikava, whatever you want to call it, but it's a good example. My point is, this conversation is that no one's going to come along with her and say light plug, at least in the names that we've discussed. No one's going to say it's a light plug, because what are you going to tell me? It's an aish, it's a red hot coil in there. If you turn that on Shabbos, you are over on Mavir. You are over on age according to all the poskim that ever lived and ever should live. So therefore, you're over on Mavir. So if you're over on Mavir, we should make a light plug. If there is a light plug out there, the teretz is, no, there's no light plug. Why is there no light plug? Because I told you there's a light plug when the crackpot is on the high. The teretz is, yeah, because that's a stokable type of fire. If I ended the shiur here, everybody would be happy. And therefore, whoever didn't have this Shabbos a hot plate with silver foil is not an irreligious Jew. And l'chayra, you can give him shishi. Okay, look how you can give him shishi. Okay, is that crystal clear so far? So far, okay. And this is the psak. Just give me one moment, un momento. This is the psak of I saw they bring from Dayan Fisher. We were in Meishar, so I feel it's important that we say psakim from the dots. The Dayan Fisher in Mora Shabbos in the 696, in the 656th page, right over there. Dayan Fisher said a hot plate isn't tight. Why not? You could use a hot plate. There's no problem, meaning you don't have to put silver foil on her, and you could do shehiyah, and you could do chazara. You can't go and do nesina. Okay, fine, good. Okay, so far so good. It's partial. There's no light plug. There's no light plug. Lape this. We don't. Okay. And then I saw that the Shmir Shabbos Kilchasa. Okay, in Aleph. In Lamed, he seems to say the same thing. So now you have mamish like the base in Hagadol, you have the American Paiskim, you have the Meshurim Paiskim, you have, who else do you have? You have, for sure you have Ben Sina Abishayil. He held it even on a crackpot. He held it like plugs. He didn't hold it like plug even in a crackpot, excuse me. So certainly you have the Sardish Paiskim, you have the Ashkenazish Paiskim, you have the mamish, you have the Yerushalayimers. So everybody could be makel on this and rest easy at night. What do you want to ask on? Okay. No, dials is different shmuz. Dials is stokable. Dials is stokable. So one stafer made a terrible mistake, and he said, "Well, hot plates are equal." That's not ridiculous. That's pasha. Okay. Is Rabbi said so now? But to go to Bnei Brak, in Bnei Brak, a hot plate is a illegal apparatus. It's illegal. Why? Because you're going to think it's mutter. So it's illegal because the normal person is going to buy it. And it says, and there's a store over here which I passed. I was walking to the yeshiva, and it said on it, Shabbos, it said in Yiddish, Shabbos, Shin Ayin Beis, like Shabbos, like that, right? Shabbos, varm something, not flash, what was the word? Varm teller or something. A warm teller means plate. I don't know, like a warm plate. I don't know. I guess they go the word hot and plate, and you know how it goes, right? So, but it doesn't really mean that, because then if it's a teller, it's English, it's a varm teller, and it's a Shabbos varm teller. That's what it says. So Mela, you would read this and you'll think, "Ooh, it's mutter, and I could just use it on Shabbos," and people come to make mistakes. So you can't even buy it. It's an illegal apparatus. I saw a sefer that was written from Bnei Brak. He said you shouldn't even buy hot plates because mamish, it's so usher, and you're going to make this. He says a hot plate is an aish. Light plug. Who's he bring this from? Orchas Rabbeinu, the Chazon Ish. The Chazon Ish said light plug in the 102nd page, and therefore you can't use a hot plate even if the food is not fully cooked. If the food is fully cooked, do what you want. You're Michael Ben Drusai or whatever. Yeah, Bnei Brak, if the food's Michael Ben Drusai, you're already sitting pretty. Right? So, and who else holds like this? Rabbi Nissen Karelitz in the 114th page, he says, no hot plate. It says you can use silver foil, but lots of silver foil, whatever. Light plug. The H is a light plug. You can't put things on. It's an H. You have to come on to Michael Ben Drusai. And then Rav Yashiv in Mamish, in the Shvutz Yitzchak, you can't go 30 pages without Rabbi Yashiv saying this. It's like a 300-page sefer. So in page 36 and page 96 and page 102 and page 100 and page, you can't go like a few pages without you seeing Rabbi Yashiv. The whole sefer, there's one, that sefer shouldn't be called, it's called Shiur Chazar. It shouldn't be called that. It should be called Hot Plates Are Aser. Right? And they asked Rabbi Yashiv, why is a hot plate aser? So he said, because light plug. So this is mamish intriguing. So Maisa, you have a really big fight here, Rabbi Say. Is anybody going to tell me, are you strong enough to go against the Gedolei Bnei Brak and Rabbi Yashiv? Rabbi Say, you take any of these people and put them on one side of the scale, and it's a very scary scale. And then you put it on the other side, you put the face, Rishon Zalman and Rabbi Moshe. It's very scary. It's very scary. It's like a fight between Big Gedalia Gumba and Noig Melech HaBashim. It's like a very, very scary, right? Does anybody want to be machri on this? And of course you do, because you're hungry, right? And you don't want to have to put silver foil. And Rabbi Yashiv says, don't even put regular silver foil, because what's the raya when you put regular silver foil that you're doing it to Mesiach Das? Maybe you're putting regular silver foil because you don't want it to get dirty. So and also he says regular silver foil doesn't really make it so much colder and whatever. Is there anybody here that Taka, who wants to paskin like Rav Moshe? Anybody? So yeah, I don't think you have Rav Moshe. And Rav Moshe talked about a hot plate, and this is where the plot thickens. Rav Moshe, they asked him about a hot plate, because Rav Moshe is the Yasir HaGadol Sheroy Lachriyo. You have a plot machlekes, Shlomo Zalman and Rav Yashiv, all the other names, but if you have Rav Moshe, right, and Rav Moshe will tip the scale somewhere, so okay, So what do you say? So Rav Moshe talk has a truth about hot plate, and Rav Moshe says, Rav Shimon Eider asked him, are you allowed to use, it's very interesting, in the tshuva Rabbi Feigenbaum that you gave me, he wrote a bunch of questions together. In the Sefer, he split it up. Something's fishy here. In the tshuva, he put together all these shilas. Can I take previously cooked food and put it on a radiator? He's trying to give examples of things that's not the derech to cook. Radiators. His examples were hot plates. His examples were warming trays. I don't even know what this thing is, but they used to have something called a warming tray, whatever. We have warming drawers. We'll have to talk about. But Akapanim. So he says, Rav Moshe, he says, since it's efshar, imi efshar is bashal sham. By radiator, it says mutter. Interesting. By hot plate, he says, efshar is bashal sham. Since efshar is bashal sham, therefore it's mutter. Right? Is a hot plate efshar is bashal sham? Anybody know? Right? Chacham Victor, is it possible or not? What? He was in a room and bidud for 14 days. What do you think he did the whole time? He played with every apparatus in the house. Right? Only the legal. Right? But I mean, what are you talking about? You can cook on a hot plate. Nobody here ever cooked on a hot plate. Now yeshiva bacher, man. Right? And what happens erev Pesach? Erev Pesach, when you clean this and you clean that, and all that's left is on a hot plate. What could you do now? So what do you have to do? You have to go cook on a hot plate, right? What could you do? No. So are you able physically to cook on a hot plate? Probably. Do you think the hot plates in 1973, and this was written in 1974, you think they were different? I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. It sounds a little bit interesting. I'm saying, I don't know. Anybody know? Anybody want to take responsibility? Right? Anybody know? Did anybody ask the question? Anybody? No? Anybody? So it's a Merdi Gazach. I actually know somebody, it's like old, like sometimes you have old people that have old things and they never throw them out. So I have a great uncle like that. I have a great uncle, right? And so I asked my great aunt today. She has like this like old stock, like record players and whatever. Never throw anything out there. Right? I asked her, "Do you have a hot plate? Do you have a hot plate from a Moldavit site?" She told me, "She said, a Moldavit site. You have a hot plate." I said, "How old is the hot plate?" Hot plate. She says a cousin. She says one of the cousins who's 38 years old, and that's actually cheshbon out how old the hot plate was. So she has a 38-year-old hot plate. Now I admit it's not a 48-year-old hot plate, which would help us with this. But I don't know, does anybody, so I asked her, does it get hot? She says, of course it gets hot. It's very, very hot. Very, very, very. I told Mamish it's boiling. Like you could theoretically cook something on it. She thinks so, yeah. I thought, you want to do a Mamish a big tayalas for all of Klal Yisrael? So she said, yeah. So I said, could you make an egg in it today for me? Just so I could see, right? So she did. My mother called up, why are you making her crazy? So she made an egg. She made an egg in it. She made an egg. I asked, how long did it take to make the egg? She said, a regular egg takes about 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes. This took her about 15 minutes. It's about 15 minutes to make the egg, but it made 15 minutes. How's it taste? Yeah. So, your uncle didn't complain, and he would. And he would. Right? Side by side, it's mamish merdi gazach. So he cooks. So what's Ramosha talking about that it doesn't cook? You think that there was a... So what Ramosha means is like, so what do you want to say? What? So I don't know. So Ramosha says him. So Ramosha sounds like that the way that they phrased the question to him. It's interesting when you look at the question that Shimon Eider asked him. It's clear that Ramosha, not clear, but it's very possible Ramosha didn't have a hot plate, or he didn't. Or it's not it's shaykh that he never made his rebbitzin crazy and asked her to cook an egg there and whatever. I don't know. And it sounds like that Ramosha understood that the hot plate is something that just doesn't cook. And that's what he writes. He writes, Im ef shel is bashal sham. So I just want you to know one thing. When it comes to Ramosha, I don't know what to do with Ramosha. How did it stem? How could there be a light plug? I just told you Ramosha doesn't hold of the light plug. The only time Ramosha holds of the light plug is when it's stokable. And now Ramosha is saying that a fire is usher, right? So what would you do? What's the answer? Well, what's the answer? It's not stokable. So why would it be a problem? What? So but there's no urns that in those days that were stokables. I don't know. So, you know what? Rabbi said, I don't know. Rabbi Lieberman says maybe the pshat is that because it's a fire that there's a concept of a stokable fire. I buy an urn. So maybe Ramosha held that an urn is mamish a separate piece of machinery. And this machinery is machinery that in those days, at least, there was no stokage taking place. It was just, it was all in its place. and it was a certain fire used for a certain. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. But Ramosh, I'm afraid to put on the table. I must admit. So we're. You know what we have to do now? We have to do something drastic. We have to on our own try and figure out here from the Mishnah Berurah if there's a light plug in the sugya. Okay, so is everybody with me? Now I start the shiur. Is everybody with me? Yeah? Okay, so watch this. Yeah. Come again? How can you say light plug? He's asking, how can you say light plug if a tach betit is mutter? Right? Tach betit is mutter, it's not plug. So why is that kasha? I'll say, tach betit is a super hacker. Chazal didn't usually say on a hacker when it came to the sugya of shehiyah. That's with the normal methodology. But if you do a super hacker, what's called a super hacker is tach betit. So then that cancels out the whole zero. So that's a. I'm not sure if my contract is mechayiv me to answer this question. Chazal gave the dispensation. So then, why do I have to answer the question? Why am I mechayiv to answer this question? I'm not sure if I should. Right? Not sure. Well, you understand? I'm not sure. No, that's not that you can't do. It's physically possible. That's what you're going to remember. The super hacker. So I believe him in saying, so typically a hot plate, why isn't the hot plate toch betit? This kasha taka bothers me a little bit. That bothers me a little bit. Why isn't the hot plate toch betit? He's saying, what's the whole wonders of toch betit? It's a grace hacker. Right? You know what? So he's saying, so it's kavachaymer. It's a kavachaymer from toch betit. That's how I'd ask the question. It's a kavachaymer from toch betit. Toch betit. So that what? I'm not sure. But toch betit doesn't work mitzad hesach hadas. It works mitzad hacker. Right? So I don't know. I'm going to tell you a grace of Chiddush. Maybe you can have a light plug. When there's no hecker, right? Because when there's a hecker, that is, Chazal said, that knocks out the fire. That knocks out the light plug. The fire is here, comes along a hecker and says, there's no fire over here. He did something that'll be nicker the whole time. Here, when it comes to a hot plate, so a hot plate is something that there's a fire over here, and pumped, it's true, you're not going to be able to do anything, but you didn't make a hecker. Maybe in order for it to be mutter, it has to be a hacker. But his question is a very good question. I'm saying, but that's what? Come again? You know. Rabbi Moyle says the biggest hacker in the world is that I'm using a hot plate and nothing else. That's the biggest hacker in the world, right? That's a hacker. And I'll say it more. I'll say it even more. Rabbi said to go and cook. Is that a normal way to cook on a hot plate? When you have no ability to change I'm sure my aunt is, there's a reason she called my mother to tell her truck is making me crazy and whatever, it is an annoying way of cooking. You like to go up, you like to go down, and you have to wait, and you have to this. It's not such a normal way of cooking. Okay, I'm asking, if I was in charge of the world, I would probably say a hot plate is mutter, no problem shia, no problem chazar. And you know what? I'm going to tell you the secret now. In the end of the day, it's probably going to be, there's enough to be saimechan, right? It's probably enough. The Hartzvi first, the Shmir Shabbos first, the Dayan Fisher first. They said first that it's mutter, right? Okay, but look, Rabbi say, forget everything of it. Let's just see what the Mishnah Berurah holds. Once you know what the Mishnah Berurah holds, if I bring you a raya from the Mishnah Berurah that there's a light plug and that a hot plate should be usher, okay? So then, who's going to be brave enough this Shabbos to plug in a hot plate and not put on it some type of a silver foil? I'm just asking a question. Who's going to be brave enough, right? Let's see. So let me read you a Mishnah Berurah, and I want to tell you, you all read this Mishnah Berurah, that was your homework. I have tremendous agmas nefesh from what I'm about to read. Whoever can take away my pain and agmas nefesh, I will be eternally grateful. I'll be eternally grateful. And I have terrible pain and suffering from this Mishnah Berurah. The Mishnah Berurah over here in Sivkotin Chaf, Siman Shin Yud Ches. Now you all know that there's a gzeira of told us, or not a gzeira of told us is an issa deraisa. If you take a blech, a piece of metal, heat it up on a fire. Okay, you take a piece of metal and heat it up on a fire. Everybody said, how much do I do for you people? How much do I do for you? You guys that watch me on TV, how much do I do for you? No? Chaim Marcus, how much do I do for you? Rabbi Silberman, well, you guys, how much do I do for you? If you could take me out of my pain, what do I do? It would be a little bit that you pay me back. I don't ask you to pay me back, but if you take me out of my agnes, fine. What do I do for you? No, I don't. Everything. No. What are you talking about? And what do I ask you for, DJ? A little bit. A bissel of menschlichkeit. Just answer what bothers me and gives me tzaras and agnes nefesh. I must admit, as chatoisi ani masker, I don't put silver foil on a hot plate. I don't put it on a hot plate. Okay. And because when I learned the sugya, it doesn't make sense to me to put silver foil on a hot plate. I don't understand it. And all these svars, Rabbi Lieberman tells me this is the biggest tachmatit in the world. Rabbi Moyle says, you take this thing out, this shows Shabbos Varmeteller, is sicher not it's sicher not coming for a cooking method, it's sicher not normal, it's sicher not the derechlis bashal, it's sicher doimet kashu kvav and whatever. Okay, and anyways, what's on my hot plate? B'neinu Rabbi say. Michael Ben Drusizer on my hot plate. Maybe the stuff is mostly fully cooked anyways, So what are we dealing with? Mitzvah the afalois and the chumras of, and maybe there's no plug and there's great place inside it. But this was the first Friday night that I looked at my hot plate and I said, no, Kallus, it's so hard for you to just put a couple of pieces of silver foil on. And Mela, till now, you didn't understand Rav Yashiv, and you didn't understand the Gedolim of Bnei Brak, but now you understand the Gedolim of Bnei Brak and Rav Yashiv, so maybe you should put it on. This is what I thought to myself as I passed the hot plate when I watched the Netilas Yadayim. This is what I thought. So maybe take me out of my Agnes Nefesh and my misery from what I saw on Friday night. So the Mishnah Berurah says like this. Mishnah Berurah says in Siman Chi, he told you all know that if I take a piece of metal, we'll call it a hot plate, and I put it on a piece of fire, right? And I take a piece of metal and I put it on a piece of fire and I make it boiling hot and it's red hot, okay? And now I take an egg and I fry that egg onto this piece of metal. Rabbi Marcus, what would be the din in such a case? It would be a mitzvah to kill him, because that would be a mitzvah deraisa. That's bishul deraisa according to all of the poskim. That's the halacha. That's called toldas or, and that we learned about b'shaita. What's a good example of toldas or? Rabbi say hot water is a good example. Klivishin is an example of toldas or. Right? Everything we ever discussed in this room is an example of toldas or. Klivishin is toldas or. Klisheni on the kali bishul is toldas or. That's bishul deraisa. Okay. Then there's something called toldas chama. There's something cham if I take egg and I cook it in the sun itself, so that's mutter. Okay, but if I take that same piece of metal, that blech, and I heat it up in the sun, and then I take that metal and I put an egg and I fry the egg on top of it, so then that's not an issa deraisa, that's an issa derabbanan. That's called toldas cham. Okay, comes again the Rashba. Comes again the Rashba of the great Rishonim. And the Rashba asks, well, this is all nice. The Gabe Bishul, there's an issa derabbanan that you're not allowed to cook on Shabbos on a blech that was heated up in the sun. But Claire the Rashba, what's the din? Can I take a blech that was heated up in the sun, and I can go and do a shehiyah on that blech? Can I do shehiyah on that blech? Where's it Negeah? It's very Negeah. Chamei Tveria, right? It was a big shaila in the Gemara. Chamei Tveria, is that the Eish of Gehenim? And it's the Eish of Gehenim, but that's shaila. What is the Eish of Gehenim? Is it Eish Amiti? Is it not Eish Amiti? Whatever. Okay. Akapanim, I shouldn't say it's the Eish of Gehenim. It's a shaila, but the Eish is shaila. Because it's a whole shaila if it's told as Chama or if it's told as Or. Okay, so it's clear to Rashba. Could you go and lichatchila? You have this cholent. Where you're going to heat up this cholent? On erev Shabbos, right? On erev Shabbos, you want to heat up the cholent for Shabbos. The isser of shehiyah. So is there an isser of shehiyah of taking a piece of metal that was heated in the sun and putting on that piece of metal a cholent? Okay, a cholent that's not fully cooked, the Michael Ben Yusai, whatever your sheet is. Okay. Rabbi say, what's the answer to this question? No, who wants to be brave and volunteer and answer? No shamichata. Comes along Rabbi Lieberman all the way from Gates head. Okay, all the way from the head of the gate, and he says it's mutter. It's mutter. There's no shema yichata, right? Is that correct? Okay, Rabbi Lieberman. And what about you volunteered? And what about if I take a piece of metal and I heat it up with fire amiti, okay, emes fire. And now I take this hot, boiling hot piece of metal. Can I do shehiyah on that? What's the answer? Who says Rabbi Lieberman? Yes. Why? There's no shamichata. There's no shamichata, right? Okay, so now I want to tell you what it says inside the Rashba. Until when you see the Rashba inside, you wouldn't understand the Shabbat unless I gave you this Hakadama. The Rashba, oy vey, what a big shayla the Rashba has. Such a big shayla. He doesn't know what's the din of Toldas Chama. Can I do shehiyah on Toldas Chama? And the Rashba declares, yeah, Nish, could you do shehiyah? It's a great shayla. Could you do shehiyah on Toldas Chama? And then the Rashba comes with them great kula. And the Rashba says, yes, you could do shehiyah on Toldas Chama. You know why? Because they were only geyser on a bishul deraisa. On a bishul deraisa, they were geyser on Toldas Chama. Not on shehiyah, which is only the Rabbanan. You ever see somebody schwitz so much in your life? You ever see a Rishon schwitz so much? He's mamish schwitzing to explain it. Rabbi Lieberman, he didn't even have to change his undershirt. He says, mutter lach. Why is it mutter? That's not Shiur. There's no Shemir Chata. The Rashba, the Rashba starts screaming Gewalt. I don't know, but I could be Mekel because the whole listeners only told us Chama. They're only Goyzer told us Chama on something that's official Deraisa, but they're not going to be Goyzer told us Chama on something that is a Shiur, which is only Nisid Rabbanan. Okay, he doesn't even mention Todas Eish. Come to gain the greatest Goyim that lived in the entire planet Earth, Rabbi Kiva Eger. The greatest Goyim that lived in the time of the 1830s, 40s, there was nobody greater than Rabbi Kiva Eger. How do I know that? Because some Sefer says there's nobody greater than my Shver. So he writes in the truth, but nobody in the world. Somebody argued on him? That's what he writes. Somebody argued him. So he says, Sarach Levoitka, you have to check out. You have to look after this guy. There's something wrong with him, right? He's questioning Rabbi Kiva Eger. You have to look after such a person. You have to worry about such a person, right? Chasam Sofer Punk didn't like that guy anyways. But I'll go upon him. So Rabbi Kiva Eger, the greatest person that lived in the world, he says, you ready for this chiddush? He says, the Rashba said it by Toldas Chama, and it's mashma that by Toldas Chama, yeah, but by Toldas Eish, no, and that you're not going to be allowed to do Shiur by Toldas Eish. I'm not choilik. I think even Toldas Eish. Why? Because fart, it's a tolda. That's how he says it. Fart, it's not, maybe the entire din deraisa is only on the Eish, but the din derabbanan they didn't make on the toldas bichlal. The whole derabbanan. I say, what's the schwitz? Was schwitzt mich as viel? What's the schwitz? What's the schwitz? You know why it's mutter to do Shiur? They should say, of course it's mutter to do Shiur on a hot plate that was heated up by the sun, by the fire, by the everything. But what are they busy with? The answer is pashit. There's no Shemir Chata. Why are they schwitzing? Why are they schwitzing over here? It's mashma barer that the only reason that they're willing to be mekel is because there's like some new svaras have told us, and the Rashba wasn't even mekel when it came to Toldas Chama. Toldas Eish. He was only mekel by Toldas Chama. This is such a strange thing. Why don't they just say, Pashut, it's mutter. Kashu Gvav is mutter. So this is mutter. Shemir Chata not shaykh. So it should be mutter. What's the constant? I wouldn't have even written it. Now read the Mishabur inside. You'll have such an appreciation. It says the Mishabur and Sivkot and Chav. He says, Vafilu im Yatmin, fine, brings down, he says, Hamavashal b'chamei tferi is potter from Mechatis because it's told as Chama. Chayvin makis mardis hilkach also lahamid machul al gabe chamei tferi b'Shabbos. Aval hashay salei amer Shabbos mutter. It's quoting who the Rashba. Ulaniach b'seichon aser at one of the Ramoitz of Hevel. Come to gain the bir alacha. Ayin mishnebura dibur maschal vafilu. Ayin mishnebura lahashas al told as Chama mutter ubechedushay Rebbe Kiva Eger mitzadid. Mitzadid. He has a tzad. What does mitzadid mean? When an achron has a tzad, it's like a shiloh, right? It's a shiloh. Mitzadid, that it's even told this or is mutter. Even told this or. The loigara mikira grufa de mutter kevin de l'shayich shamichata. Oh, now he sounds like that's a mitzadid. What's the mitzadid? What's the mitzadid? And also, why do you have to stel tzut to grufa v'ketuma? Just say, das is mamish kashu gvava. That's kashu gvava. Just say that. Mitzadid, that it's mutter. Right? And mitzadid it's mutter means that the Rashba wasn't mitzadid. I saw achreinim, great achreinim. They want to say that the Rashba is chayluk on Rabbi Kiva Eger. Rabbi Kiva Eger is chayluk on the Rashba. That the Rashba is chayluk on Rabbi Kiva Eger. That it's taka only by Toldas Chama he was willing to be made. The truth is, you read the Rashba inside and you actually begin to believe that. It's by Toldas Chama is as far by a told of Chama that the deraisa they didn't make only the deraisa, but none of the. Rabbi say. So what's in Mefurish over here? So if I was learning the Mishnah over here, I would say, well, I guess there's a light plug. And Chazal answered, fire, light plug. This is a hot plate. Lefides is a hot plate that told us or? No. Is it a told us chama? No. Rabbi Kiva Eger was willing to be makel by a told of or. This is the or itself. So he wasn't willing to be makel by the or itself. So l'chayra it's going to be aser to do shehiyah. Obviously, if it's Michael ben Drisai, it's mutter. But I'm saying it'll be aser if it's not Michael ben Drisai. I don't know. That's what it sounds like over here. And I'll tell you something even more politic. So the Shvutz Yitzchak asked the great Goyin Rav Eliashiv, the melech of all of Klal Yisrael. He asked him, "What's pshat in the light plug? What happened to Kashu Gvava?" He asked him the shayla, but he didn't ask him my shayla. He asked him, why do you aser a hot plate? Hare kashu gvava is mutter. So why do you aser a hot plate? Why is a hot plate not kashu gvava? You finally have somebody ask the question, right? He asked the question. He asked Rabbi Yashiv. So you know what Rabbi Yashiv said? Rabbi Yashiv said, no, because a hot plate is a different type of fire than kashuk. Excuse me, a kashuk vava is a different type of fire. A kashuk vava is a type of a fire. I guess it's a fire source and everything that you can't stoke. You can't stoke. Here, it's a fire which is a gewaltige fire that in other scenarios, this is how I understood what Rabbi Yashiv was saying. In other scenarios, you could stoke, but they did something to it that you don't need to stoke here. But the fire is the same fire. That's what he says. Mashenken kashuk vava is a type of a fire that you can't stoke. That's what he said. I guess the fuel source of this fire, I guess he means, since theoretically they could put a dial on this and it's the exact same fire, right? So on that, yeah, machmin a light plug, right? I could say a little bit stronger. I could say this fire is not going down. A kashuk vav is going down. So here, what are you lacking? Just the ability to stoke? No, of them, zukman a light plug. Why zukman a light plug on that? Because it's a fire that's theoretically stokeable and it's got the quality of that fire because it's not going down. Kashuk vava is a fire which is going down and there's nothing you can do about it. And taka, it's not stokeable. So it's going down and it's not stokeable. So that's why they didn't make on that a light plug. Before I continue, do you understand what I'm saying? You understand? Good. But why is it, how does that help us for the case? How's Rav Yashiv? I mean, it's a question on everyone on the planet, I'm saying, but I'm going to ask you now on Rav Yashiv. No, but the case of a blech, Rabbi side that was heated up from a fire, okay? Or heated up from the sun. It's going down, and there's nothing you can do with it. So then it should be kashuk vav. If what I just explained why kashuk vava is not a hot plate and why they made a light plug on a hot plate but not on kashuk vava, I still do not understand why the Mishabura made a light plug over here. So does anybody have an answer to this question and can put me out of my misery? Is there anybody? What do I ask you for? Shalom Yankiv, don't want to help? You don't want to help. You sit there with the mask over your face like you're not here. Right? Don't want to help. No, any of my TV watchers? Nobody wants to help. No. Rabbi Fiskus, bring out the little girls. Maybe they know the answer. Let's say it says Nevuah was taken away and given to Ketanim and everybody. Anybody want to help me a bit? No. Maybe you came to help us today? No, nothing. Nobody wants to help. Somebody wants to help. Well, no, somebody wants to know what I did with my hot plate. No, I told you. I realized this on Friday nights. I still didn't cover it. The question is, am I going to cover it this Friday night? Is there anybody who can explain to me the difference between a hot plate and a blech? That the Rabbi Kiva Eger was makel on a blech, mitzadid lahakel, and the Rashba wouldn't be makel on a blech, and the Mishabura Zayin Groise Chiddush is makel on a blech, but it's mashma clearly that it's some special svara legabe a tolda, and you definitely do not have that svara when it comes to I'm navoich. What? Okay, you made it worse. So then it'd be say yes, then that's usher. Then a hot plate is usher. So you want to say hot plate is usher? Oh, okay. So Rabbi Yedakin, Rabbi side, he's covering his hot plate this Friday night. That's all your Yedakins around the world. I hope you guys, there's like lots of them over here, right? You make sure all your Yedakins around the world should know that you must cover. Everybody, yeah, you're all going to be very careful before you talk now. No? Maybe what? Such a chiddush. You should be arrested. Are you allowed to be out of quarantine or no? You're allowed? Yeah. It's such a chiddush. I don't know. Maybe Taka. I don't know. Such a chiddush. I don't know. What don't you understand? Somebody saying he doesn't understand? What don't you understand? I mean, it comes out that a hot plate. I don't see if Rabbi Kiva Eger and the Rashba were willing to fathom a tzad, to be machmir. I can explain to you what could be possibly the understanding. They were willing to fathom a tzad that a hot plate, that a blech, I keep calling it back, a piece of metal heated up from the sun, heated up from the whatever, theoretically would be usher. They were willing to fathom a tzad that such a thing would be willing. They were willing to be seifel such a thing, that it would be usher. They're willing to be seifel. Does not, they came and said, since it's called a tol davor, then we're not going to have that chomer. That's what they came along and said. Okay? So, but it's mashma klar that theoretically they wanted to make a light plug in the sugya. Okay? So now, the question that we're asking is, how does that stem with kashuk vava? So I'll give you a potential answer, which could maybe, maybe kashuk vava is something special. Maybe there's a special heter on kashuk vava. But regularly I do this, nothing else in the world is going to have this heter, right? But that's what the answer has to be. Now, I can think of 5 or 6 reasons why there's something special about kashuk vava, and that only kashuk vava, or, garif and katim, you do a maisa to show I'm not interested in the cooking process, or you use A kashu gvava. What's kashu gvava? Kashu gvava is a fire source. Which is, and the truth is, did you see this in Bir Halacha over here in Reish and Gimel? Bir Halacha over here in Dibra Maskal, I think it was Vafilu. Bir Halacha says, let's say you have tons and tons of kashu gvava. Tons of kashu gvava. So much kashu gvava, there's fires blazing and it doesn't show that you're out of the cooking process. Bir Halacha is not sure. He's not sure. So he ends with Sarachia. He's not sure. He says maybe that would also be a problem. You remember that, Bir Halacha, Rabbi say? That you have a maybe this is the answer to our question. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. The Bir Halacha over here in Dibra Maskal Vafilu, he says, what happens if you took tons and tons? He's medayik in Lashon. It says he's siku. Mashma like you did, and it's going out. He says, what if you took over here tons and tons and tons of kashu gvava and you put it on and you make it that it's mamish a fire and it's a flat of fire and everything. It's mamish a big fire and it's going to last for a long time. So maybe that doesn't show that your ice cooking process. And he's not sure, or maybe yeah, because you can't be machat. And I don't know what to do with this Bir Halacha, I must admit, because is this a raya? I'm not sure. I was thinking from this Bir Halacha, you see that kashu gvava, the whole idea of kashu gvava is a kashu gvava is a zad thing. It's mamish. It's a zad type of a fuel source. The whole entire fuel source is a zad fuel source, which I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. Tzarchi, but you know what? I don't know the answer. I just know that if that kashu gvava, when you put tons of it, the Bir Halacha is not sure about it. So maybe that's a hot plate. Number one. Number two is maybe when you have but it's such a stretch. I know you're all disappointed, but it's okay. I don't know. Maybe if I don't know. Sorry? If you make a kashu gvava, it's mutter, right? She is mutter on kashu gvava. No. We're saying this metal. If you have a piece of metal, if you say a piece of metal was kashu gvava, then it just say push it. It's kashu gvava and gemarnu, and then everything in the world that you can't stoke is kashu gvava. Rabbi Lieberman told me that a piece of metal that's heated up is pushit, it's mutter, it's kashu gvava. There's no shiloh. And that's what we all would have thought. Everything goes down. Kashu gvava goes down, and the metal goes down. Yeah, but you can't stoke it. It doesn't even begin. My point is it won't even begin. It won't even begin. A kama that a piece of metal is, again, a kama that Rabbi Kiva Eger and the Rashba have a tzad that a piece of metal, there is in Ezer Shia, they have a tzad. Then there's nothing to discuss. Of course, a hot plate is asr. That's all I'm saying in that direction. If they have a tzad that even a piece of metal is asr, so then there's nothing to discuss. Of course, a hot plate is asr. If you can come along the other direction, if you can explain to me that a piece of metal is kashu gvava and it's mutter gomer, then I can start saying, why is it mutter gomer? Not because it's going down. I can say it's mutter gomer because you can't stoke. And I can say a hot plate also is something you can't stoke, right? But I don't know. Halacha l'maisa is makim to be mekel. It is a tzarchin though. It is a tzarchin. It's a tzarchin. If anybody has the answer to this question, please tell me. You can call me even in the middle of the night to tell me the answer to this question, because I'm having tremendous agmas nefesh for this. That's number one. You see, you're trying to take me out of my agmas nefesh. At the end of Sivkat and Chaf, and the Bir Halacha, Dibra Maskal, Ve'afilu. Okay. Now, I'll end with the Shiloh. I don't know. We didn't do anything today. It's never happened in the history of this year. It's never happened. It's unbelievable. But I'll end with the Shiloh. What? Correct. If a tanner would be totally nothing left. I'm not sure if that bothered me, because then that has a chadas. You did a maisa. I know clearly if you did a maisa that's mutter. I know if you do a maisa that's mutter. So then that's not a raya. That's a maisa v'asachas das. We know this concept of a maisa v'asachas das, like a piece of raw food. We know this concept. Everybody's like, I'm going to end with a shaila. I don't know what happened to what's going to be with chazar. I don't even know what's going to be. What's going to be? We have to start chazar. We're supposed to start chazar today. I don't know what's going to be. A kapanim. Right? Is everybody's like, let me tell you the story. I won't get the answer today, but at least you'll have what to think about. The story was like this. This is what someone called me up and said to me, I'll tell you what I said at the end of this year, you have to be a mamash, a rizik, goyin, not a shlemiel, not a shlemendrik, a shlemuger. Remember we said this? In order to be over on shehiyah in a way that we're going to ask her, you have to be a miyuchadika bal mazel ra. Mamash like a miyuchadika guy, right? So he told me that this happened. What's the story? The story is like this. There was a cholent. That a group of Bachrim on Erev Shabbos, they were Bachrim were the children of this woman, of the Balabasta. A group of Bachrim were ransacked and looted. I guess that's what's in the air these days. They ransacked and looted the cholent, and now she was nervous that there wasn't going to be enough meat for the cholent. There wasn't going to be enough meat for the cholent. She was nervous. They already ate like a lot of the cholent on Erev Shabbos. So she decided to murder a cow and to add more dead cow to the cholent. Okay, on Erev Shabbos. And when did she come down? She came down at about right when she was about to light Adolphus Neres. She comes down about 40 minutes before Shkia, and she sees that she looks in the cholent. She went to check the cholent, like the normal thing, and she sees what happened over the cholent, right? And like the story, you had a story with the three bears, right? You had a medrash, right? What happened over here to the cholent, right? So Goldilocks started not to gazook the shiksagan. The kitzer, Tachlis Gered, she added meat to the cholent. When did she add the meat to the cholent? She added the meat to a crock pot on low about 30 minutes before Shkia. 35 minutes before Shkia, she added cholent she added meat to a low cholent. Okay? Now, l'chayra, that's what she did. Why did she add that meat? Because the cholent was being niftar. Okay? So now this person called and said, I found the case that the cholent is going to be aser. Okay? Is he right or wrong? Let's go slow. So let's go slow. Okay. Now, is by shkia it going to be a third cooked, the raw meat? No. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. She doesn't have a what's it called in the crock pot. She doesn't have in the crock pot. All she has is silver foil in the crock pot. She just has silver foil in the crock pot, which we said doesn't work. She doesn't even put in the silver foil for that reason. She puts in the silver foil just that it shouldn't be all dirty and sticky. Right? So she doesn't have it. And anyways, the silver foil doesn't make it any colder. So we don't have a blach. Okay, if we had a blach, there'd be nothing to discuss. We don't have a blach. Okay. So now, let's go slow. Okay. So now, is it going to be a third? Let's try everything. Is it going to be a third cooked by the time that shkia hits? No, not in a low crock pot. The piece of meat is not going to be a third cooked by the time shkia hits. Am I Gewaldige Kulalach going to help over here? Are they going to help over here? Is it going to be a third cooked by the end of the 30 minutes of Ben Hashmashis? No, an hour. It takes more than an hour. It's not again. It takes more than an hour to get it to a third. I mean, and a low in a crock pot. It's not happening. That's what he said, and I think I agree with him. What? Come again. It was also probably from. I agree with him either way, right? It's I don't think whatever. I saw in the Orchas Shabbos that he brings that kula that I mentioned from the Chazon Ish, and he says you have the heter until 13 and a half minutes after Shkia. Wrong, absolutely not. I don't know why 13 and a half minutes after Shkia. Why we paskin like the goyin oifen vadai? What is that? The goyin. That means that 13 and a half minutes after Shkia you can say Kriya Shema. That means that 13 and a half minutes after Shkia, you could do Malach on Motzei Shabbos. What's 13 and a half? Here we could be Mekel, because we're trying to figure out if it's Ben Hashmashis Klapei Shvasim. So here's Lekula. So over here, so we said 30 minutes, we said even maybe 40 minutes, right? Okay. So Kapanim, but do you have 30 minutes? Will it be cooked by 30 minutes after Shkia? A third cooked? It didn't sound like it will be. Okay, so L'chaira, we found the case. Elamai, what are you going to say? What? Elamai is a kitchachaisa, but it was partially cooked by Shkia. Okay, so we don't even have kitchachaisa. Anything else? Come on. No. Jaime. No. You said it the other day. What? The other food doesn't help. What? Forget. I'll stoke for that. What? Oh, so comes along Jaime and he brings the kol boy that the Bir Lach brings. Where was the Dibra Maschel? Dibra Maschel. Where is she? Dibra Maschel Lashoisai. Bir Lach Dibra Maschel Lashoisai. That there's a shita of the kol boy, which you must remember. The kol boy shita is that if I don't plan on eating the food until tomorrow lunch, So then that is also included in the Kiddush Chaisa heter. Till now, we learned that Kiddush Chaisa is a type of food. It's a raw food. So Mela, I'm not going to come to stoke because if I stoke, it won't be ready anyway. So for tomorrow, it'll be ready. But the Kolbai said no. He said you can apply that heter even if it's under a third cooked and it's not raw. If I just plan on having it for tomorrow, it has the lave of the heter of Kiddush Chaisa. Biur Halacha brings this is a machlekes, but the Biur Halacha says b'shas atchag it could be saimech. No, obviously, therefore we don't ask it, right? So that's it. We saved the chalent, right? We saved the chalent. So now I'm going to tell you like this: this lady, this is priceless. This lady, she's not the biggest Talmid Chacham, not the smallest Amarts, okay? And she put in meat. Why'd she put in the meat into the chalent? She put the meat into the chalent. She wanted to have like a big chalent and everything. She planned on giving from this chalent. She planned on them having the chalent on Friday night. She planned that they should be able to eat from this chalent on Friday night. You know, but no. So she make like the chazanish. They could take out with a spoon. Don't be so machmir. Maybe she lives in Bnei Brak. What are you causing trouble? He's causing so much trouble. He's causing trouble. The day he comes back, he's causing trouble. Put you back in quarantine, chacham. No, so she wants her children. She's such a good mama, Yiddish mama. She wants that her children. It's not enough that they ate and they're sitting like this and right. She's not enough that they ate on Erev Shabbos half the chalent. She wants that on Friday night they should be able to eat more chalent. Okay, so her das was that they should eat the chalent on Friday night. Right? That's it. It's a mitzvah to kill her. Right? The chalent is dead. That's it. The chalent is also. We found the case. The chalent is also. No? No? What is that? I can't be makel. Can we makel? Should I tell you what I was thinking? Is there anybody to be makel? Chalent, no, speak now. For hold your peace. No? Anyone? No, it's a marshmallow. I don't know. Anybody? No one can be makel on the chalent. I had a few things here. What chazanish? The chazanish. What? You can't just take the chazanish and say the chazanish, wave it around like a flag. What? No, but she tried. No. He planned on eating it. Your mom planned on eating it. Huh? What? Not okay. So we have like sirufim that on their own are not roy. In other words, we have the Mizgeres HaShulchan that told us if it's a straight fire that you're not going to stoke. But that we said you can't be semich on that by itself. Meaning, we're not chayshish that you're going to change. But that you see from everything we discussed in the last weeks that we don't hold that. We have another svar. Don't forget the Marsham. Marsham said a covered flame. Remember we spoke that svar out to the Marsham that when you have a covered flame, so we don't stoke because the only time you stoke is when you see there's a problem with the flame. But again, that was like mamish very difficult to be semich those two svars. I had another svar here. I said to myself, I wonder if by 72 minutes, by 71 minutes, this is so evil. You could probably get thrown out of my arm for this, but I wonder if by the 71st minute, I wonder if it's a third cooked. And if I say fight, the falazach and Rabbeinu Tam, not to ask her a chalent, you know? Even though Ramosha didn't say what I'm saying, Ramosha doesn't allow this. This is purely illegal. It's very illegal what I'm saying now. But I wonder if to 71 minutes, if it'll be a third cook plus the Marsham, plus the Mizgeres HaShulchan, pretty bad, no? It's pretty bad, no? Huh? So what do you think? What? I mean, you see what went on there in the house on Erev Shabbos. What? You know, this is it. This is the only hot food. I mean, I don't know. Anybody else? What? Nobody? Very sure, no? Sorry? No. So I had one last cheshbon. Should I tell you the one last cheshbon? Maybe for her it's usher. This is so evil. Maybe for her it's usher, but maybe there's a makom to be makel for the kids. Right? The little carnivores over there trying around, the little bachrim carnivores. Huh? What? Yeah, but it's like this. There's a Bach, Rabbi Serkis, there's Rav in Krakow, and in Brisk, and in Bells also. And he taka says that it's true we aser shehiyah. Why do we aser shehiyah? It's not the rules of regular gzeira drabanans. We should have been makel because it's shoygig under the rabbanan. So he says, I'll tell you why we aser, because people are lax when it comes to this. They're lax when it comes to this. That's how it goes. So he says, so the we aser. So he says, but that's only for the person themselves, but not for others. Why not? Because for them themselves, we tell them, you're not going to enjoy this challenge, and then they'll never do it again. We're going to matter it to others. So he says, no, because ain't adam chaytei v'loy. So we won't answer it to the others. Since it's only a knas that we answer it, we're not going to answer it to others, even b'nei beisa. Says the Bach in Sivkat and Yudalef. Mishabura argues on this in Pashut 4 places, I think. Mishabura in Sivkat and Lamed Aleph, and Sivkat and Mem Daled, and Sharatzi and Lamed Gimel, and Reish and Daled, Sivkat and Chav. Mishabura argues on this in 4 places. No, but she wouldn't chayte for them. She wouldn't be chayte. She won't be chayte for them. So I don't know. Maybe if you put this all together with the Marsham and the Miskaris HaShulchan and the 72 minutes, it was a third. And it's very schwer. It's very schwer. It's very, very schwer. You make it like this, very schwer. As a fight, I'm not going to make the blias in the cheres crackplat treif, because they got blias of Ma'aser Shabbos. That much I'll be making, because cheres you won't be able to cash her. But it's very, very schwer. They're going to have to eat this child on Ma'aser Shabbos. It's very schwer. Okay. So tomorrow we got to go weiter. There's no games, right? We got to go weiter. What happened today? Sorry? He was Misarefit